Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the AlteredConfusion Thursday Night Hangout. I, of course, am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the original gangster himself, Jesse.
What up, people?
And, ladies and gentlemen, we do... Yes, I know there's a tiny image on the intro because Charlie accidentally put things out of order. But, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest this evening who I'm very excited to have because he's got a humongous thing happening tomorrow. So, ladies and gentlemen...
We're muted.
Ando!
Back again. First time in a couple of years.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. Ando, I know that you have something big happening tomorrow, so fill us in.
Well, there is a weekend of fun that begins tomorrow. We've got, it is, of course, called AndoCon. Big surprise, you know. So it is a weekend-long gaming convention. I think we're gonna talk about a couple of the more specifics later. But just as a general overview, we've got a gaming room where there's gonna be board games, card games, a lot of game designers demoing their stuff, getting play testing, and we've got an RPG room. So if RPGs are your thing, you can totally go in there. We've got scheduled events as well as just sort of pick up. You know, if you want to play an RPG and there's somebody there who knows how to run it, then you're good. So then we've got some panels, we've got some events, we've got special guests, we've got game shows. So basically, if you are a gamer in the analog gaming area and you enjoy playing board games, then this weekend you really want to be in Peachtree Corners at AndoCon because it is going to be a great time.
Where in Peachtree Corners is this?
The Atlanta Marriott Peachtree Corners. So that is like right catty corner from, there's a shopping center that's got like an Aldi there in Peachtree Corners.
There's a Chick-fil-A, an NCG. There's a Happy Sumo over there if you want dinner.
Yeah, actually, we ate at the Buffalo Wild Wings right next
exactly
to.
where
I know exactly where that is.
Yeah, it's just right
He lives
there.
up there.
Whoever nudged the puppy is thank you for the kind words on the beard.
All right, real quick, everybody. Okay, now we can go. Anyways,
This time
Risk, there are no other board games. Ooh, well,
I don't know that I'd
opinion.
say about that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm reasonably sure that we'll have a copy of Risk there because I know a lot of people enjoy playing it. But I
enjoy flipping the damn board over. How about that?
Exactly.
So, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, you may notice that the Prolificator himself, Zelius, is not present this evening. That is because he is in Athens, Georgia, helping set up for his team as his robotics team takes on. They just won state, so they're taking regionals. Regionals this weekend.
Fun.
I have Switzerland sauce. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let us jump into a couple stories, and then we are going to give you the full, or a little bit, not the full thing, because I don't know. If you want to find out the full extent of AndoCon, you just got to go.
And it's tomorrow, so it's not like you have to wait all that long to do it.
True.
Yes.
However, let's start off with some real fun news. Actually, what the hell am I doing? I have to do the do.
About to say, even I've already drinking my Mountain Dew. Like, I know ordinarily I don't actually have one in the show, but
I don't know how you
got it this
survive
time.
drinking those things.
Well, I don't drink soda all that much, but I kind of have I have a late night I have to deal with tonight, and I got a lot going on tomorrow.
You're fine, but
caffeine. Yeah, that gets me.
that's a little bit much. Well,
Oh,
you've got a busy
delicious.
weekend.
Zelius drinks beer like a man. Okay, well, Jesse's drinking beer.
I do drink beer.
He is drinking beer. He's drinking Fu Manchu. Fu Man Brew, sorry. Fu Man Brew.
Fu Man Brew.
Fu Man Brew. All right, let's start off with some... All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's start off with something really exciting for me, at least, because I'm a huge supporter of the indie scene. And one of the big indie game or indie studios here in Atlanta, there's, well, I don't know if you would call high-res indie anymore. I mean, they do develop and publish their, they do develop and publish their own stuff. They do have a partner, Florida Whammy, Ando! But so there's like Tripwire Interactive, and then there's this company called Blue Mammoth Games. Blue Mammoth Games is the company behind the brawler Brawlhalla that a lot of people are like, hello, that's a Smash Brothers ripoff. And I could kind of see it. It's a 2D, fighting platform game. It's 4 players basically trying to beat the crap out of each other. You got different levels, different boards, all that stuff. Yeah, by the way, Nudge is a troll, so don't take anything she says to heart. If it's she. But I'm really excited for Blue Mammoth. They have been growing. They've had a tournament for their game. It was an open invitational last time, and I thought about going and trying it out. But then after everyone kept calling me a smasher, while I was trying to get I guess my ranking up, I was like, I'll not do it. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, smasher means that you're just basically spamming the crap out of the buttons and hoping shit will work.
That's kind of my philosophy on fighting games.
That's how I play games in general.
Button mashing.
Yeah. So they got bought by Ubisoft,
which is good.
Yes,
they're moving up in the world.
So basically, what they saw recently is that they basically saw the ceiling for a scrappy, never say die indie studio, and they wanted to take that next leap because the game is starting to get a little recognition, but there's no way that they were going to be able to take it as far as they wanted to. So they started looking for a partner, and Ubisoft goes, we'll be your partner. So now that Blue Mammoth is being backed by a Big Ten publisher, they could do a lot more. They're going to continue to work on Brawlhalla. They might dabble outside. However, now that they have a little bit more security, a little stability, you're going to see, if you play Brawlhalla, you're going to see a lot of enhancements and a lot of promises that haven't actually come to fruition because of just the amount of energy and money and time it would take. But they do want to say one thing, and that is, it goes without saying, but they'll say it anyways. They've worked very hard over the last 3 years to earn the gamers' trust in Brawlhalla. It will always be free to play and never pay to win. None of that will ever change. Ubisoft shares that philosophy, and that's another reason we agreed to this partnership.
For now, anyway. For now. Until things get needed and money is needed, and we'll see what happens.
Well, okay, so the thing is, Blue Mammoth isn't going to try to churn out game after game after game after game. I'm pretty sure that Ubisoft's just keep doing what you're doing. Unless you start doing some crazy stuff, then we're going to put you on a schedule. Hence, what happened with Assassin's Creed Unity, which was just...
The new one's great. I really like Origins. They got away from the history, but the new one's at least pretty good.
Yeah. I haven't played it, so yeah. I thought it wasn't historical, though.
It is historical-ish.
Ish?
Ish. Yeah.
Ish, apparently.
So, Ando, do you own AndoCon?
I mean, own is kind of an odd word for it, but I guess you could say that. I'm the president and founder of AndoCon, for what it's worth.
Yes, he is. And Ando does own AndoCon. Or is that a game you named your channel after? No,
it's not a game. AndoCon is a convention, and own, if you want to say own, then own works. I don't really use that terminology, but whatever.
Okay, so since we're bringing it up real quick, I do want to just do a quick little, let's jump into AndoCon just for a second, and that is, how did AndoCon come to be?
Okay, that's fair enough. So I will give the abridged version because this could go on for an hour and I'm a talker. But anyway, so AndoCon actually started as a joke. It was a parody at the very beginning. I was a big board gamer in college. Taught a lot of my friends how to play board games after I graduated. Wife and I did a whole lot of things, a whole lot of gaming parties at our house, and we had some people from out of state come in one time, and they really enjoyed themselves, and actually suggested as a joke that since DragonCon brings people in from all over the country once a year, that we should do something similar. And the guy who was sort of speculating on this just said, I don't know, call it AndoCon or something. And it was just like, hey, that's brilliant, because at this point it was just a joke. So once a year for a few years, we were just like one of our gaming parties. We were like, hey guys, this is AndoCon. And we do things, silly little things, like we print fake badges and like we even in 2012 had achievements that were stickers you put on the back of the badge. So if you did things during the weekend, you could get stuff. But then in 2012, Katie May, which is my wife, Katie May and I staffed MomoCon for the very first time. And we really liked the idea of seeing what it was like from the back end, seeing what it's like to run a convention. And we thought, we've got a decent following with AndoCon. We've got a bunch of our friends. If they bring some of their friends, then it might actually be worth something. So we said, why don't we rent out a public space and see how this goes? And we had our AndoCon 2012 that was still just a joke in our house. And while we were eating pizza, I made this big speech about how this is going to become, a public thing, bring your friends. And everyone kind of laughed at me and heckled me and said it was, not really going to be anything. But then in 2013, we rented out the Cobb Conference Center, which is in Kennesaw, off Barrett Parkway near 75. And we packed it with over 200 people. And I think I got the last laugh on that one. So ever since then, we've been just doing our thing and growing. So that's how it kind of came to be. It started as a joke. I think, even though I don't regret anything, and a lot of people say that the name AndoCon really works well, to be quite honest, I think that if I had known from the start that it was going to be a real thing, I might have called it something else, because it's kind of an attention grabber. It's like, why is it named after you? So, but so.
Do you know how many people you're expecting this year?
It's a little tough to tell, because pre-registration numbers are always, kind of iffy.
Mm-hmm.
And since this year we did a Kickstarter, that probably got some people who may have registered at different times to do so early. But if I had to ballpark, I'm going to guess we're probably going to round out somewhere between 200 and 300 people. We are still kind of a small convention. And we're fine with that. We like the idea of a small convention because it's kind of intimate, and it's a lot easier to get in and out, and you don't end up in traffic for 2 hours just trying to leave a hotel. So
yes, I understand that.
And I will say one thing real quick. If you are a lover of analog gaming, board games, card games, pencil and paper RPGs, and maybe you don't know anybody who's going to this convention, come to the convention, go into the gaming room, and you're going to make a shit ton of friends. Because Zelius and I went the last AndoCon, and we just someone grabbed a board game, was looking for 2 extra people, and we're like, okay. So we sat down and we were just chilling with them the rest of the night. I mean, that's how it works. So yes, this is how it's done. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's move into the next topic. And the next topic is we got to talk about Clicker Heroes. The developer Playsaurus, a small Los Angeles-based game studio, is currently fighting a patent infringement lawsuit. The company that's gone after him is GTX Corporation, and is very well known as a patent troll. Basically, they patent a bunch of stuff that makes no sense whatsoever, and they basically say that anything that falls vaguely under this is ours. The main one, I believe, is something called the 838 patent, which deals with electronic tokens. So basically, their patents cover any type of digital credit or currency. So basically, anyone who uses digital credit or currencies has either been sued or will be sued by this company. Now, what the owner of the studio, Playsaurus, basically said they're looking for $35,000. That's what they're suing him for, $35,000, which is half the annual salary of an employee. And so he came out, and this is a statement: "As I am a major owner of Playsaurus, I see this is a personal attack, and the cost in my own time and well-being has already been significant and draining. It is a shame that the United States legal system can't provide a quick and easy way for us to punish them for these actions. I believe it is unethical on our part to pay any negotiated amount which serves to encourage the behavior of trolls with bogus claims. So if pressed, we will take the matter to the court and see it to the end. We have retained a law firm to assist and represent us if necessary. PlaySource is a 100% privately owned organization, and we are not beholden to outside investors. We absolutely refuse to negotiate license fees with patent holders who make bogus claims. So, unfortunately, this is a very common practice for people who are just trying to squeeze money out of individuals. I had to deal with a lawsuit for my original mortgage provider. They filed for bankruptcy, and then a new company, of course, basically got all the goods and stuff, and then they basically sued everybody that was part of that mortgage company, saying, "Hey, by the way, you didn't pay, you still owe this amount of money." The logic is that most people do not want to go to trial. They just wanted to go away. So what happens is you negotiate, you pay them a much smaller amount than what they're asking for. So in this case, it was $35,000. So if he was to probably negotiate, they probably knock it down like $15,000. But still, you're paying $15,000 to someone that you don't need to pay. I won't say the amount that they were trying to sue me for, but needless to say, I said F that. I got a lawyer, and of course the stupid thing was in the court was in Maryland, so I never had to fly up there, but my lawyer took care of it, and we didn't pay a dime. Of course, I had to pay legal fees, but that's what they're trying to do. They're like, I don't want to pay legal fees, so I'll pay you a little bit. Ironically, that same company, the company that went bankruptcy, also had like big corporations, like the Dallas Mavericks was on that list, and I'm pretty sure Mark Cuban's like, "Oh, you're suing us for what, $25,000? Here, go, just go." Anyways, so the interesting thing is that this patent 838 was resoundingly rejected in a unanimous 2014 Supreme Court decision known as Alice Corporation versus CLS Bank. This abstract idea is no different than using tickets to purchase drinks at a party or going to an arcade and using tokens to play games. Applying the idea with a server or reciting memory does not transform this concept into something that is patent eligible. After Alice, buying and using tokens for transactions, like a kid would do at Chuck E. Cheese's, cannot be patented by simply reciting computers and internet. Furthermore, GTX's attempted preemption of using tokens on the internet clearly signals patent ineligibility subject matter under Alice. So there's already precedent to say stop doing that, but of course, companies are going to continue to do that until enough people get wise to their little tricky.
Stop them.
Yeah. Until they're like, oh, come on, stop. But that's the United States legal system for you. Because if you try to pull that in like France or Austria, people are like, no, go home. no, you're wasting our time. No. Yay. Okay, so let's talk about. Sorry, hold on.
For what it's worth, you're looking at, I see in the chat somebody, if by that man that hasn't missed any Star Wars movie, if you're referring to me, I mean, it's actually true. I have seen all of the Star Wars movies, including Rogue One.
I have not seen the latest one.
Really? It's good.
Yeah.
It's
I have
good.
not seen Last Jedi.
It's very it's very polarizing. Personally, I really loved it. Katie May and I both loved it. I tried to then inquire gently from my dad, who also loves Star Wars, and he's like, "I'm not going to watch it." He basically let internet opinions sway him into thinking that it's not true dangerous. Star Wars. I know, and I tried to tell him it's not like that at all. It's actually really, really good. He's like, it's just. I don't think he wants.
It was an enjoyable movie. It had parts that I found really silly, but it was an enjoyable movie.
Like, so out there, if you don't like something, don't tell other people not to like it. Let them figure it out for themselves. Let people enjoy things. Don't be a jerk.
How about this, ladies and gentlemen? Anyone out there who want to see something, play something, read something?
Just do it.
Talk to your friends. Don't go on the internet and look for opinions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the vast majority of those opinions out there are rigged. Either the company or publisher or someone who worked on whatever that project is dumping reviews in there. I think it was like last week or the week before. A company had their game removed from Steam because the publisher put out this internal note saying, look, we got to have good reviews and all this stuff. So we need, if we can't get the good reviews and we don't get the playtime, then, our future is in peril. So the developer, puny little developer goes, oh crap, you play the game and write an amazing review, and you play a game and write an amazing review. And then Steam goes, you can't you can't just keep having your employees write reviews. And so
that's why people pay people in China to do it for you.
But seriously, if there's something that you're curious about, go to a trusted source. Don't just go into the internet, because there's a lot of people who just are trying to get a rise out of you. My least favorite tactic, and I get to do this every single time I play a beta game, a beta version or a closed beta of a game, or hell, an open beta of a game, is you have those people who get on and go, oh God, this game sucks. I'd much rather play this game. Which my reply is, then go play it. Go away. Like, I want to learn. It's like, oh, this game sucks. It's a WoW clone. I would rather be playing WoW than what's stopping you.
Wow.
Just go. Just bye now.
Basically, the overall sentiment here: let people enjoy things.
Yes.
Enjoy, yes.
And if you just have to get someone's opinion, once again, talk to a friend, or
Your son.
or your son, or my son probably knows more about some of the shows that he's watching. Anyways, so yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next topic. How are we doing? Oh, yeah, we're good. All right. So this is quite an interesting one, and this is that as the games that are getting the most attention are kind of separating. League of Legends, of course, is in a league of its freaking own. There is basically in the number one and number two spot is PlayerUnknown, Battlegrounds, and Fortnite, which is basically they're two battle royale games. Basically, a battle royale game is you dump 100 people into a huge area and you just basically duke it out until only one man's left standing. So one of the biggest issues with a battle royale game is if you're going to take it to like an esports professional level. If you have 100 of the best players, there's action going on all the time. Currently, the way that they're showcasing this is they have two streamers, two
announcers.
Like, announcers. There's let me make
Commentary?
sure. Commentators, yeah. Esports live casting duo is I guess the proper term. Anyways, so they have these two guys that are literally trying to bounce around all over the place. Oh, look at this kill over here. Oh man, yes, casters. Oh, look, there's that amazing kill. Oh, that one, there was a kill off there. It was amazing. We'll talk about it later. Boom, 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 boom. So you got all this jerky camera movement. One of the suggested ways to fix this is to take more of a PGA, Professional Golf Association, approach to that. And basically, the way that golf is laid out is that it's the tournament is over a series of days. Now, of course, they're not going to have a series of days for a 100-person battle royale. It's probably going to end a lot quicker than that. But let's take that concept of days and let's just say there are certain benchmarks for with so many characters left or players left standing. That's considered a day. And what the other suggestion is, so you have those two main casters, and they're telling you about like the highlights. They're trying to give you a little bit. They're not focusing on one individual section. What they're doing is they're just trying to give you a feel of like the action seems intense. There seems to be a lot of action happening in this area, and then you have on-site casters as well, which are individuals who are basically tagged for certain areas, and they go to them to see who's roaming around there and all that stuff, and then they go back to the main desk and they'll show you replays of like amazing stuff happening. So it's not technically live, but you're not really missing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in fact, you might be seeing better stuff.
exactly,
than before.
because I'm going to be totally honest with you. I've tried to watch a lot of like the live esports streams, and it is very jerky a lot of the time because they're like, let's get this thing real quick so we could potentially see this guy kill. Oh no, wait, he's not going to kill someone. Okay, well we got to pop over here. I understand that they want to do it. You know, they want to show everything as it happens, but I think that by giving yourself a little bit of a delay, so you can actually make sure that you're showing the best stuff, and that you're really focusing, allowing the viewer to focus in on what's going on. I think that's a much better solution. So so here's some of this. Here's I think it's a 5-point suggested way to fix this issue. Number 1, at the beginning of map, don't try to follow all the action. Hone in on the most popular, best team to start building storylines around the competitors about which the audience cares the most. So find the big name, and then try to follow them. And of course, once they're gone, then maybe you follow the person who took out the big name, because now you got this David and Goliath thing going on. Have a casting duo that is responsible for the macro event and narrative, but employ a handful of other casters who focus on narrow portions of the map. What players have the best loot, who has the favorite terrain, where are conflicts likely to occur as the circle narrows and players are forced to travel. Number 3, and this is one that that is a little bit harder because they want to have everybody wants to know like so much information, but the suggestion is remove the kill feed, or at the very least stop having casters focus on it, because you're constantly going, this is how many are dead, this do. Don't be afraid to flash back to important actions or funny moments. The beginning of the map is chaos and action will naturally be missed, but until you get to the end, the live action is far less important than ensuring the viewer is consistently watching compelling content, which is what I said. You're grabbing stuff, amazing stuff, and then showing it to them. Yeah, you can watch the live stuff, but once again, the camera angles all bouncing all over the place. I've watched the stream, the broadcasters going at it for like Smite, the MOBA game by Hi-Rez, and there's a lot of times where they just have to go, there might be something happening over here, so they click on it, and then they have to wait, and if something happens elsewhere, then they missed it.
Yeah.
So number 4, use a bottom line ticker and scoreboard that focuses on the player's overall positioning for the event, not just the map itself. Standing in an individual map matters, but the results of the overall tournament should always be paramount for the broadcast. No one cares that, okay, now they're going to use a golf analogy, so I'll just change it to someone. No, they already used that one. Okay. No one cared that Dustin Johnson shot a 65 on the final day if Tiger Woods is going to win the overall event by finishing with a 68. It's the big name.
I don't know, but Dustin Johnson shooting a 65 on the last day is pretty good. I'm just saying.
And then number 5,
feeling the wind on that one.
This is not in the hands of the competition organizers, but these games would also benefit from more predictability. Knowing item drops and the sequencing of the poison circles in advance would allow competitors to plan out strategy and help broadcasters predict where action will occur in order to weave a more compelling. That's not going to happen. They're not going to be like, by the way, every 15 minutes in this specific area, there's going to be something that drops. That's a pipe dream.
Have they ever stopped and asked the players how they want the game to be played?
They just want to play it. Now, if you muck around with a certain mechanic, like they make a gun weaker, their favorite gun weaker, then they're going to bitch and moan about it. But if they make their favorite gun more powerful, then there's going to be other people who don't like that gun who are going to bitch and moan about it. You can never make everyone happy in the game.
Well, the reason I said that is, I'm going to use another golf analogy here.
Too.
In the 1970s on television, golf holes were black. And a cameraman realized one day that nobody can actually see where the hole is on the course if it's black. So you know what he did? He told golf to paint it white.
And it worked.
People could actually tell where the hole was. But as a cameraman realized, this doesn't work. I enjoy golf. I have no clue what I'm looking at. Have they ever just stopped and said to the players, "What do y'all want to see?"
No, the thing is, with the players don't have the issue because they're on the course. They've basically memorized either the game mechanics or the field or the area. The problem is that Florida Whammy said in Player Unknown Battleground and Fortnite, that will never happen because the drops and circles are pseudo random based on a few loose conditions for where not to drop or where not to shrink, but that's it. Right, exactly. There's you can't get that. That, like I said, that's a pipe dream. However, you could definitely. I understand we live in a society where we have to have like information now, and unfortunately, a lot of that information is not fact checked now. But that being said, it's never a bad idea to allow for a little extra polish. Give us a commentary, weave us a story, and then give us the highlights, which is why I love watching ESPN Sports Center every single morning, because I get to see just the highlights. Even if I don't give a damn about who the hell is playing, or I don't give a damn about the sport, I'll be like, oh, that looks cool for the 15 seconds it's on the screen.
You know, perhaps instead of asking the players, perhaps it would be better to try to ask people who actually are watching it. Try to watch ask the viewers, what do you find the most interesting to watch happen, and try to craft the experience around what people actually enjoy watching. That perhaps might give you even better viewership, because if what you're trying to do is the viewership and the players are already just fine playing in the game, well, then talk to the viewers about what they want to see.
So what you're saying is actually have a focus group. Instead of going,
I know,
what would be interesting? I think all we got to do is just, because one of the big name casters for Smite, when it was really coming up up the ranks, was a gentleman by the name of Hi-Res Bart, and he was actually a semi-professional auctioneer.
Wow!
So he was able to spit stuff out, like. And you can hear it clearly, but that's what you had to do so you could get all the action out. Now think if the vast majority of people may not be able to. Thanks, Sam Grizzle says Thursday night hangouts need a drone camera flying around the room. Who the hell is gonna be flying it though?
We can work on that though.
If it's viewership, I'm out.
All right, so Florida Whammy says, opposed to a game like League of Legends, where you know exactly when the next major PvE objective will spawn, and teams generally use the same tactics for the multiple camera teams who know where to focus, and the producer in the control booth knows when to switch the cameras, and the commentary team just seamlessly follow the action. There's still going to be some randomness. Yes, there are big objectives on a MOBA, massive online battle arena game, that you're going to want to focus on. However, when that objective becomes available, doesn't mean that they're immediately going to have action there, which is very obvious. And there's also going to be a lot of tap dancing around said objective to try to pull the other team in so they can get slaughtered. But anyways, it would be interesting. I would love to see a focus group. I would love to be able to have more of a polished product than trying to give everybody as much information in as little space as possible. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I believe we should talk a little bit more about this AndoCon.
Oh, we're coming back to AndoCon.
So
okay, first off, we had the in the chat they're doubting that we're wearing pants here. I just want to actually prove I actually am wearing pants. See?
I'm not gonna stand up. I'm just gonna leave it to the imagination.
Now that's why I've been kind of over this way, because
yeah, what are pants really? I mean, they're all just something that culture has made us conceptualize in our heads and wear on our bodies. No, okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk a little bit more about AndoCon. Now, we've got a little bit of the background of it, and we kind of know it's an analog gaming convention. So I know that there are some big name indie developers showing up. So could you give us a couple of the names and maybe a product that they're attached to?
Well, you say you threw in indie, and there are some indie developers there, but I mean, there are also going to be big name people as well. So, so let's see some of the ones that are the that might be recognizable, even if not the names, then perhaps the products. So, one of the big ones is Sean Patrick Fannin. I'm going to bring him up because he has had a number of successful Kickstarters, and of course is very well known for the Savage Worlds setting of the old Rifts RPG that they called Savage Rifts. He had a big event at that at AndoCon 2016. So with him this weekend, he's going to be Saturday the 10th is the launch date for his new Kickstarter for the new game Freedom Squadron, which is basically, as he calls it, a love letter to G.I. Joe. It's got a lot of that, but it's using the Savage Worlds mechanic as well. So if you're an RPG fan and you like Savage Worlds, then this is going to be a great game for you. And so as part of the celebration for this, he's actually going to do a 6-hour game starting at noon local time here, Eastern. As from noon to 6, that is going to be live cast as part of the launch event. And he flew in from Colorado, and he's got a team in Denver who are simultaneously going to be casting from game shops there.
Holy crap.
Wow,
so basically,
awesome.
It's this great big event to launch their Kickstarter and for that game, and there's a lot of hype about that one. Let's see, we've got Eddie Webb, who has recently gotten a lot of acclaim for the Pugmire RPG, and he is going to be doing some games of that along with the addition to that's the Monarchies of Mao, which brings cats into the setting.
Which Zelius is really sad that he's not going to be able to meet Eddie because Zelius is, as everyone knows, he brings up his cat Rose every single show. But yeah, he loves him some cats.
I could bring my cats up too, but I don't. Well. Anyway, so Eddie Webb's going to be there. We've also got for the first time Emmy award-winning designer Eloy Lasanta. I am trying to remember what games he is actually on the docket to run. We've actually, just as a note, this AndoCon has literally the largest roster of special guests we have ever had. So if I have difficulty remembering things, it's only because there are so many people that I'm just kind of like, mixing up which ones have which. But one of the big things that Eloy Lasanta has been all about has been promoting the diversity in the gaming community. He's his company that he works for and the RPG focus that he's working on is to promote that diversity for people of color and for women, and just all around, just making sure that we know that the gaming community is not just all white guys, because it's not. So let's see, what are some of the other ones that we've got going on? Local board game people may know Kevin Lansing, the designer of the Flashpoint Fire Rescue game. He has been a longtime guest of AndoCon. He's pretty much been a guest every year that we have had a public year. He literally all the way back to 2013. He was like our first guest. So we love Kevin, and he's I don't know if he's got a new one to bring out. He hasn't really told me that yet, but I mean, he's got like he's got, I think, 2 games that he's going to be playtesting in addition to the obvious Flashpoint. Let's see who else we got in there. Of course, obviously, one of Altered Confusion's good friends, Craig Campbell, is going to be there as well.
Nerdburger Games.
Craig Campbell with Nerdburger Games. He just launched the Kickstarter for his new RPG called Capers, which is basically a 1920s like gangster style superhero game, and that actually funded in 6 hours. So that is incredible. That is incredible. Funded in 6 hours, and so he's going to be there playtesting Capers. He's also already got his next RPG that he's working on bringing out, and he's going to run some. Die Laughing. He's going to run a couple games of that. I'm going to play one of those late on Saturday night. Going into it's good. I'm really looking forward to that. It's like a comedy horror RPG from what I've heard. Haven't gotten the chance to actually play it yet, which is why I'm so excited, because I'm finally going to get the chance to sit down and play it. So that one's going to be fun. I probably am forgetting important people, so I'm gonna. I'm going to pull up our website so I can make sure I don't actually forget.
What's the Alchemy?
Addictive Alchemy, Dave Lupo. Thank you very much. Okay. Yes, Dave Lupo will also be there, of course, playing and running Addictive Alchemy, as well as he's in the process of trying to put the finishing touches on basically the prequel to Addictive Alchemy called Aggressive Alchemy, which I've played. I played a playtest of it a few months ago, and it's really solid. It is a very fun game. I'm really looking forward to that one hitting Kickstarter too. It hasn't happened yet. I'm not sure when he's going to launch that one, but I can very much vouch that is going to be great.
Is Chris Miller coming?
Yes, he is. That's
good.
see, you're helping me think you. Okay, so Chris Miller. That one's one. If you don't know who Chris Miller is, he is a local RPG designer. He last year was kickstarted his first RPG called Ankur, Kingdom of the Gods. He was talking about it a lot at AndoCon 2016, and so he's kickstarted the first one, and he actually just launched the Kickstarter for an expansion for that game. So he is going to be, of course, wanting to run that as well. So make sure to stop.
Land of the First People.
I think Land of the First People is the right.
And they are, I believe, last time I checked, they're about 70% funded. I think.
I haven't actually checked yet because I've been busy with these last couple of days. And if Chris gets to actually see this, I have to apologize because he has sent me the link to the Kickstarter campaign a couple of times. And
he did to me, and then finally I was like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I literally just this week has just been, these past couple of weeks have just been crazy. But once AndoCon, settles down, I fully intend to back that one because it's good. So there are a couple of new faces to the AndoCon roster, and I'm not quite as strongly familiar with them. So apologies to them because I just haven't gotten a chance to meet them very well yet. But Michael Knight and Sam Hing and Vincent Baker are some of the
Vincent Baker, yes, Vindictive.
Spellslingers.
Yeah, Spellslingers. Oh God, now of course now I can't remember. I've interviewed Baker many times. I've interviewed him many times.
Yeah, let's see. Vindicated Entertainment. That's the name of his company. He is going to be he's going to be running some sessions of his Spellslingers game. Let's see. Also got again, this one's someone that you may not know outside of the Metro Atlanta area. People who are part of the local gaming community do know this designer, and if you don't, actually very highly recommend his games. That's Jason Stone. Jason Stone, that's Jason. You might recognize him.
Feel like I have.
He's been to almost I think he's been to all of the AndoCons as well, and he likes to be on the Florida Whammy game shows a lot because he's a big game show fan. Yeah. Anyway, Jason Stone, I can't even go through all of the games that he has done, but he is very prolific and his games are a lot of fun. I just late last year played a game he is kind of putting the finishing touches on. That Dave Loop is actually working with him.
Oh, nice.
On it, and it's it's called Fallen Flags. It's actually Fallen Flags is the name of the series that he is going to be making. So he and Dave are working on that. Let's see, going through here. Another good one. Silly Kid Games. They made their AndoCon debut in 2016 with their game Golem Academy. And they are actually coming back because they're in the process of finishing touches on the second edition of Golem Academy. So they'll be back. Empire Games, they're another one that came to us for the first time in 2016. They're based in North Carolina, so they're a little bit out of the Metro Atlanta scene, but they have some really fun games. One I played last in 2016 called I Drank What?
Yes,
so it's
yes,
a party drink. It's so much fun.
Oh, that was a fun game.
God, I love that game. They're going to be doing that again. And they're doing a tournament of I Drink What, and the grand prize of that, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, but let's just say that they have a custom prize that has the AndoCon logo on it for the winner of the tournament. So, and then of course we've got Derek Kamal. I don't want to forget him. He's another one that's I would use the phrase up and coming just because I think that he was relatively new when he first got to us in 2016, but he's been getting some traction there. And his latest Kickstarter that actually funded really quickly too, Heavy Metal Thunder Mouse.
Yep.
That he's going to be running that at AndoCon this year as well.
I'm getting my personalized book when I come to AndoCon from him.
So you will be there as well, Charlie.
Huh? Yes, I will be at AndoCon.
Yeah.
No, I met Derek maybe at AndoCon or maybe just through Craig Campbell. I can't remember, but I never played his first RPG, The Dig.
Yeah. I've got a copy of it, and I haven't actually gotten to play it yet. And it sucks. I really want to. It looks so much fun.
I read the book Holmes, which is really good, but it's this weird kind of relationship. It's the Holmes is set in the setting of The Dig. However, it's there's there's some weird it's back and forth. So there's not really this is the whole thing. It's Dig is part of Holmes, but Holmes is based on the world of Dig. It's just boom, boom.
That's weird.
Yes. It works, though. I swear to God, it works.
So I'm going to basically shut up in a moment, but I wanted to make sure I gave a Loyalist Santa a bit better, because I was blanking out on the games that he's going to be bringing. I want to give him more credit than that. So some past games that Eloy has worked on are Apocalypse Prevention Inc., Ampere 1, and the Ninja Crusade 2nd Edition. He's also been involved with the Firefly RPG and for the Chronicles / World of Darkness fans, Geist the Sin Eaters.
Yes.
And then I feel like there is, I really feel bad because I feel like there is a game he's specifically running at AndoCon that I wanted to shout out, and I can't remember what it is. If Craig were here on the show, then if he were in the chat, then he would probably know what it is. But anyway, so those are just some of the guests, and of course, since I know that Brian is on the chat, I do not at all want to short shrift them. And they're they've actually rebranded. It's American Whammy Productions now. So,
yeah.
But anyway, American Whammy. If you've ever been to any AndoCons in the past, they are the ones that do the game shows at the shows, and they are going to once again be joining us, putting on some awesome, fun game shows. So we do not want to miss that. You might even, you'll probably get a chance to actually come up and be part of actually participate in the game show. It's a lot of fun.
It is. So. It is. I lost every single time I tried to jump in. But anyways, but I mean, there's a ton of awesome stuff going on in AndoCon. You listed a ton of great developers. Side note for when it comes to Vindictive Entertainment. Vincent Baker's big games, Spellslingers, there is a spell in there called, I want to call it the Confusion Bolt, and that was I designed that.
Cool.
So
it's fun.
My name is blowing the cards, man. Boom.
Well, I mean, if you get basically Dave Lupo loves to hand out new like side effect cards for Addictive Alchemy and stuff. There is both an AndoCon side effect card. There's also one that's just me, just the Ando card. There's also one that's just Katie May as well. Nice. So like depending on if you know Dave pretty well, you might actually get some AndoCon or even Ando personally cards with my picture on it and everything.
Yeah, that's actually, I mean, that's a great way to get people interested in your game. Yeah, sure, there's gonna be a ton of people who are probably just gonna chuck the card. However, I got
oh, it is. Look at that.
What?
The background is falling.
No, it's been like that the whole time.
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah, it's on all three cells. I mean, I could pull it in, but I'm not gonna do it.
So what will you be doing at AndoCon, by the way?
What will I be? I will be buzzing around like a crazy man. I'll be helping record the opening ceremonies. I'll be trying to set up a stream for the opening ceremonies. And then I'll probably be trying to pester all the developers to get a maximum of 20-minute interview, which doesn't really go past like 10 minutes. I'm sure Craig is probably going like, dude, I'm going to be on the Thursday Night Hangout next week, which he is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Nerdburger Games founder and creator Craig Campbell will be on next week's Thursday Night Hangout to talk about his game, Keepers.
And I actually want to speak on opening just for a moment. Opening ceremonies at any convention is just kind of the way you kick off the show. And at AndoCon, it traditionally is relatively low attended because most people are like, they get to the con, they want to sit down and start playing games. Opening ceremonies is a great way for me to be able to sort of set the tone for the convention. And as some people may know, we didn't actually have a 2017 event. We took a year off. And that was for personal reasons on my end. But one of the things that this has allowed me to really focus on in my own growth is I'm kind of taking a slightly different tone with AndoCon, and I'm teasing this because I really want people to experience opening ceremonies, because I'm going to contextualize AndoCon in a way I never have before. It's going to be different. And it's going to be special. I'm probably going to cry because it's going to get a little personal, but it is really important to me. And so we are going to live stream it. So if you are not able to come to the convention, then please do consider keeping an eye open for that. We're going to try to do it off our Facebook page. So just facebook.com/AndoCon. And I really would appreciate anybody being able to look at it. And if you're going to be there in person, please, it's at 4:00. So just take a few minutes and it will, half an hour, and come on into the panel.
And what time will that be starting so people can catch that feed?
4 o'clock. 4 o'clock for opening ceremony.
4 o'clock.
So there you go.
When will y'all be there?
Well, actually, Katie May and I are staying on site tonight, so we'll be there like the whole day tomorrow.
Okay, because I'm gonna try to get there a little early just so I can get the feel and landscape and whatnot. But that's kind of close for Whammy. But yeah, I'll be there early to make sure that I get as much of awesomeness as possible. Yeah. Anyways, I'm excited. I can't wait. I unfortunately have to work part of the day tomorrow with some crazy stuff that's just been driving me nuts for the past 3 days. But then I get to go to AndoCon. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Good night, Nudge. God, do I really want to talk about this topic?
I don't know that you want to. I say we took a lot. I talked a long time about AndoCon. You can blame it on me saying that this topic you didn't have to deal
and
with.
for the people who want to hear me, this is actually more of my area, but I understand it's painful.
I mean, it's painful for me too. I don't want to.
Nudge, if there was a way to
just reach through the camera and just kind of.
Are you wearing your VR headset? This is just
if you come to AndoCon, you can touch my beard. As a matter of fact, in 2016, we have pictures from when me and this other dude actually, as part of it was a planned thing during closing ceremonies, actually rubbed our beards against each other. It was a moment of geek bonding that.
Oh my. Anyways, we're gonna do this. I'm going to be
go for it. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Put it up there.
All right. So today, our illustrious president had a sit down with what he considered the video game industry to talk about the violence of video games. When he first made this announcement, and he's like, "Yeah, I plan on sitting down with the video game industry to talk about the violence of video games." When media reached out to the video game industry to say, "How do you feel about this? When you're gonna meet? What's the agenda?" The video game industry goes, "Do what now? We're doing what?" Turns out that the president had not actually sent an invitation to the video game industry at that time. Now he did finally correct that thing, and he finally sent out what's March the 5th? 3 days ago.
3 days ago.
Monday?
Yes.
Yes. On Monday, the actual invitation finally dropped. And the Entertainment Software Association, also known as ESA, was able to state the following: video games are enjoyed around the world, and numerous authorities and reputable scientific studies have found no connection between games and real-life violence. Like all Americans, we are deeply concerned about the level of gun violence in the United States. Video games are plainly not the issue. Entertainment is distributed and consumed globally, but the U.S. has exponentially higher level of gun violence than in any other nation. The upcoming meeting at the White House, which ESA will attend, will provide the opportunity to have a fact-based conversation about video game ratings. Which, that would have been awesome had that been a fact-based conversation. So let's talk about the roster of people that showed up to said convention. Now, this talk has already happened.
It happened today.
It happened today. I'm scared shitless to actually find out how it went, so I'm just going to give you the information as if it hadn't happened yet. Okay, I'm going to plead ignorance.
I can tell you how you went, and I didn't get a chance to see it. I was at work.
Right. So let's talk about the roster of individuals that attended this thing. First off, the CEO of Take-Two Interactive, which they had to be there because they're the makers of Grand Theft Auto, and that's a big red flag to a lot of people. Like, video game violence is to blame. And and the CEO of ZeniMax Media, who owns Bethesda, and of course, that means like Elder Scrolls and all that stuff. And that was it for video game companies. The ESA did bring a representative. So did the ESRB, which is the Electronic Software Rating Board, which of course is basically the people who make the ratings for games. Which, by the way, politicians out there is a rating system out there. There's also one for movies as well. I know it's crazy.
There's one for TV as well, too.
Yeah.
So
maybe this whole idea of parents of young children actually paying attention to what they're watching or playing.
Oh no!
Oh no!
You're about to maybe jump on a soapbox.
Oh no! Oh no!
Okay.
I shouldn't have said anything.
All right, so let's get this out of the way. There's many things out there that have violence. Okay, there's this amazing thing called understanding the difference between reality and fantasy. My 5-year-old already can decipher the difference.
sometimes.
The vast majority, it's not the vast. Yes, 5-year-old, of course, the imagination kind of goes crazy. However, he definitely knows what he can and cannot do in real life. If he sees something on TV, that doesn't mean that he immediately tries to do it. Even if he tries to binge watch a show he's not supposed to watch at his grandparents' house, and then we find out about it later because he starts running around saying, "I'm Donatello."
Feeling that this has happened.
Yeah, weird. But the TV is not a babysitter. Video games are not a babysitter. You want your kid to grow up and be somebody? Pay fucking attention to your kid. You want kids to stop playing violent video games? How about pay attention to what games your kids are playing? My dad, when I started buying games, like a lot of games that my mom was not too sure about, especially since there's a huge devil face on one of the games, Diablo. So my mom basically sent my dad on a secret mission to watch over my shoulder to make sure that I wasn't selling my soul to the devil.
Damn it, parenting.
But here's the funny thing. Here's the funny twist about my experience with my dad watching me play Diablo. I got to a point where I was no longer able to play games on my computer. Not because I wasn't allowed to, it's because my dad had decided to play Diablo and Diablo 2 and Baldur's Gate and Baldur's Gate 2 and Icewind Dale 2.
That was a 4, by the way, you just held up?
No, I'm counting. God, anyways, so be a parent. When you go to a store to buy a game and they ask for your ID, it is not a credit card check. It is to make sure that you're old enough to buy the game. And the ESRB has actually gotten better. They have these ratings that then have description of why it got the rating. It's an amazing thing. If you pay attention,
You just have to look at the box. Look at the little square on the box.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways, all right. So you had two guys, two CEOs of big studios. Then you had an ESRB individual and an ESA person. There, of course, Activision and Electronic Arts, the biggest publishers in the U.S. were not there. Sam Grizzle said the original 1950s Superman, George Reeves, had to talk a kid out of shooting him because the kid thought bullets wouldn't hurt him. It's all in telling your kid what's real and what's not. Anyways, so let's see who's... actually, before I get to the other side, there is one itty little twist. And that is that the CEO of ZeniMax Media, the Bethesda, Elder Scrolls, Fallout, and Doom, on his company's board of directors is Trump's younger brother, Robert Trump. So that kind of causes a little bit of a, situation as to how much he can say.
Trump doesn't understand what the word nepotism is.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Okay, so anyways, so you have those two, and then of course but let's talk about the other side. Dave Grossman, a longtime critic of the industry, and the author of titles such as Assassination Generation, Video Games, Aggression, and the Psychology of Killing. FYI, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, he is neither a psychiatrist nor psychologist. He just liked to put fancy words on a book. He's also the one who coined the phrase "murder simulator," which as a result of him utilizing that wonderful phrase, the Supreme Court voted that video games were protected by the First Amendment.
If it makes you feel any better, this is the way the meeting probably ran.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of people who have one side. He's got a bunch of people who are on the other side. They sit down, they yell at each other for about an hour on cameras, and he agrees with both sides. And he says something that both sides want to see. And then in the end, nobody knows what he believes, where he stands, or what to do about it politically.
Does he have one of those cue cards where all his answers are facing towards the camera?
Possibly.
I feel what you're talking about. What?
Possibly somebody has prepped him ahead of time for what things might say, and to say, yes, I feel you and I understand where you are coming from.
All right.
That's what actually happens in these. It's brilliant because it makes it look like he's working when he's not.
Another individual who was there is Brent Bozell, another longtime industry critic, and is also the head of Media Research Center. And then finally, Melissa Henson from the Parents Television Council. Now, so we don't have a lot of like big names representing the video game industry. We've got quite a few big names for the opposition, and also there was a ton of political figures. I believe Marco Rubio was there as well.
Oh, good. I'm glad he showed up.
Yeah.
He needs to do something to save his job at this point.
Yeah, well, he's going to get further into NRS. Anyways, something that should be noted is who was not there, or a certain type of individual who was not present at this, and that was there were no individuals, scientists especially, who had studied the effect of video game violence on players both young and old in attendance. So basically, the individuals who have done the research, who have the facts, were not invited to something that will dictate, is it factually correct that video games cause real-world violence or not? So the people who actually have the data were not invited.
Well, facts, science, and data are not allowed into the White House. In fact, his economic advisor just quit because he would not listen to the facts and data on tariffs. So facts and data are not allowed.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen,
this is why I do not get involved in politics, because
I try not to, but when it goes into the video game arena,
I know
I have to say something, because
I know.
This is such BS.
It is absolute BS.
It's such a
complete
scapegoat. Just there's not one. Okay, when something goes wrong, either good or bad, there is not a single reason. There's many. You can't just.
Life is not that cut and dried.
Exactly.
I've been playing Mortal Kombat since I was 8, and I'm still wondering if I can rip somebody's beating heart out of their chest. I'm just going to try one day. Come on.
Yes, okay, Florida whammy. I don't speak on politics in public. This makes it extremely hard to stick to that. Yes. Okay, so technically, I guess this is public. No. And I mean, it's going to be uploaded, so people are going to be able to like critique it or anything. But here's the deal: I feel strong enough in my position that I'm voicing my opinion. If y'all have a problem with that, cool. This is my opinion. I'm sick and tired of trying to, be the company man or going with the flow. That's just not me. But it just bugs the crap out of me that individuals consistently try to point the finger at a single thing to say that this is the root of all our problems. That being said, here is what several studies have said. As a video game violence research, this is the professor of psychology and criminal justice at Texas A&M University. This was a statement that he had that he made after Sandy Hook. As a video game violence researcher and someone who has done scholarship on mass homicides, let me state very emphatically, there is no good evidence that video games or other media contributes, even in a small way, to mass homicides or any other violence among youth. No, but it gets better. Because and we talked about this last week. The Secret Service actually ran a study specifically focused on large massacres, and they found no evidence suggesting the school shooters consumed more media violence than anyone else. And just in this thing, because I know we're getting a little antsy here, in 2017, shooting games made up just 27.5% of all video games sold, and only 11% of video games sold were mature rated games.
But I bet you every school shooter has played those. That's 100%. I'm just saying this. So one of those things is we have to look at all angles.
I know. Played Risk, okay? I had to take over. Russia. There had to be no compromise.
So one of the things that politicians do is they do these kind of focus groups so it makes it look like they are doing something. And that is important. Looking like you are doing something is better than actually doing something. Yes, I see he's there.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Looking like you're doing something is better than actually doing something.
Right.
What this was today was looking like you were doing something. In fact, it does very little. Very little. Don't get all your panties in a wad. This does nothing. Does nothing.
Yes. Okay, so let's get off this topic. Let's talk about something that I think
puppies.
No. We're going to talk about boobies. No, kind of. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to bring up. There is an individual that's basically been on Twitch or been streaming games since 2013. Her name is KaceyTron. She basically says that she tries to be as
I'm not talking about cats.
No, we're not talking about cats, Zelia. Stop! She is a self-described titty streamer. What she does is basically she intentionally tries to provoke people. She's actually a really good gamer. However, she purposely screws up to try to piss people off because she lives to basically troll everybody. She allows for $1 or $2 donations where you can put the nastiest stuff out there, but she has a sharp enough wit to basically spin it around and make you look like the idiot. One of the really fun things is one of her favorite tactics is she likes to go over the top. She's got scripts and stuff. Florida whammy. Basically, she's flashing the goods just to get a rise because she knows people are going to talk about it. That means views, and when you talk about it, that means more people have to figure it out. So she's like cool, which any publicity is good publicity. Well, publicity. Man, I can't talk.
I have no clue who this person is.
What was in that mug over there, Charlie? Are you sure that was just Mountain Dew?
Dude. Basically, she, like I said, she makes very unique statements. I'm just going to read one really quick. People who are upset about female streamers wearing low-cut tops will see something that, like what she's doing, go, oh yeah, she's making fun of female streamers acting like sluts for views. The way I see it is it's making fun of people who get upset about it. Once again, she's just trying to get a rise. Not that type of rise. God damn it.
I didn't say a thing.
You looked at me. I know what you're trying to say.
I didn't say
I keep a straight face because I just don't care. I don't even know who this person is. In fact, her whole world doesn't matter to me.
So basically, so like I said, she intentionally does bad or ditzy moves. Like one example is while playing World of Warcraft, she kept running back and forth across a bridge instead of engaging into a fight. And then she kept telling everyone, this one's all about the bridge play. Completely straight-faced. Because she knows that people are going to go nuts. And of course, she wants to make sure that people can, she wants to show off that fake girl gamer type of vibe. Of course, she's not. And of course, a lot of people have accused not only of her being bad at games, but leveraging her good looks for clicks.
If you got it, flaunt it.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of people just look for KaceyTron. One of the things that a lot of people do when people get really toxic is that they'll ban them. She does not. She will make sure that they get attention so that she could burn them. And of course, she went into the most toxic game there is for online communities, and that, of course, is League of Legends. And while wearing a low-top tank top, she chose the champion Ari because it's a girl and she looks cute. And then she says, the hardcore strategy game, this is a good game for kids that can't really afford $14.99 a month for World of Warcraft. Yeah.
Oh boy.
So in League of Legends, she basically intentionally took mass amounts of damage and repeatedly got herself killed. So that people started yelling and screaming at her, and so she at the end of everything, she basically, with a confident tone, said she's going to become a professional League of Legends player. And so people are like, what the fuck? So what was the other thing? Here's one thing that drives everyone nuts. When she dies in games, she'd scream. Then she'd stall, sometimes for over an hour, before she's load up another game to play on Twitch. Apparently just to raise the hackles of Twitch purists who believe that a game must be played at all times, lest the sanctity of Twitch as a gaming destination is violated. When she plays poorly, she says it's because she's a girl. She regularly refers to herself as a slut. And when she gets a new subscriber, she welcomes them into her titty stream. So basically, once again, she's trying to provoke. Okay.
Is this the kind of crap that's on the internet?
Yes.
This is like scratching the surface of the internet.
It's not just for porn anymore.
I mean, it's
the internet is for porn.
I mean, it's always been.
What's the appeal of watching her stream? The funny thing is, the people who are most adamant about her, like the people who are absolutely bananas and basically yelling back and forth, are actually her most loyal fans, because they know the inside joke now. Mm-hmm. So they try to help drum up even more drama so she can feed off of it.
Just so you know, it's crap like this which is why we have a president like we do now, because you accept the fact that they act like a bunch of idiots. Sorry. You make excuses for the fact that they're a bunch of idiots, and that's how we end up with a man who's an idiot that you make excuses for.
So basically, she has had a couple of issues, and that is that as a result of trying to piss everyone off and being a ditz in certain games, she has unfortunately been swatted several times.
I don't actually, for some of us out there that are not
sure
what swatted means.
What swatting means, and it's absolutely ridiculous. If anyone, grow up here, okay? What happens is, so let's say I'm playing an online game with you, okay? Mm-hmm. And we're on a team. You screw up, and you basically cost us the match. Mm-hmm. We get in a shouting fit. You don't want to take any of the blame, so I basically go, you know what? I am going to make you pay for this. So what I do is I have one of my friends find out all your personal information, then make a phone call to 911 saying that there is a person in your house who has a gun, who has shot someone already, and is looking to kill more people, which will then cause a response by SWAT, the local SWAT team, who will then have to barricade the neighborhood and then infiltrate the house, clear the entire house, and it hopefully will not end in a casualty.
Which just happened recently, so they're looking to make it even more illegal than it already is now to do it, because it's ended in a casualty recently, as of a month ago.
That's pretty much what Brian's saying right there.
It's felony in most states now, and there's been legislation introduced into Congress to make it a federal crime and let it be investigated.
Personally, I'm all for that. This is horrible. Like, it's ridiculous.
Look, if you got this basically goes back to what I preach is, if you want to say something to someone, put your name to it. If you feel so strong about someone screwing you over in a game, put your name to it. Yes, people are stupid as hell. Duh. But she has been swatted several times, and in one instance, they busted open the door with their guns out, and she currently was living at her parents' house at the time, and her brother was home, and he's autistic. So
people first, person first. He has autism.
The brother was scared absolutely shitless because of seeing people bust through the door with a gun. Seriously, guys. So what she does now that she's had to move several times because of incidents like this and other issues is that she contacts the local police in the new location to explain the circumstances of her job. She's quoted said, "I just want to tell them in case something happens. They honestly just treat me like I'm fucking stupid. A police officer has said, 'Are you afraid I'm going to shoot you?' Yeah, I am."
It's not like that's never happened. It's not like it doesn't happen all the time.
This is sad that she considers this a job. I mean, I guess she makes enough money out of it to make a living, but
the vast majority of people who have that huge following either on YouTube or Twitch, they can make bank. Now, of course, YouTube has made it a shit ton harder for the smaller people to actually make any money off of this. But there are definitely people who are firmly entrenched in YouTube or Twitch who make money off of subscriptions. Yeah, some of the top Twitch partners make 6 figures a year.
Well, I should not have become a teacher. I'm sorry.
Oh, put your name to it. So are you in favor of requiring real names with comments?
It's an interesting
question. So
question.
that's actually I'm gonna take the titties off because I'm starting to get distracted. That's actually a very interesting point. Years ago now, Blizzard was actually trying to enact the Real ID. So, and it basically your name would be tied to your Blizzard account name. So when you posted something, your actual name would show up. Now, the ramifications of that is that the one downside is we are still a bunch of a-hole sexist douchebags. And the problem with putting your real name is that people gang up on the females. Now, of course, there are individuals who have, there's girls out there who have names that are more associated with men and then vice versa. However, if you have the real name, people can then search for it and then find out if you are a dude or a chick, unless you're really good at hiding those tracks. And then you know they're going to come down harder on a girl than not, because immediately you're going, well, girls don't really know how to play video games. And so that's the reason why it failed. That's a very,
I mean, on the one hand, I really do feel like there is a large part of the social weirdness that goes on these days that stems from the comfortable anonymity of the internet, because people can hide behind a screen name and say whatever they want to whoever they want, and there's no consequences in the real world. They can be the worst of the worst and say the most inflammatory, hateful things, and basically they have no consequences. And so it really empowers them to continue doing that. So forcing you to have put your name to it is kind of, like that on the, on that side of the argument would at least make people think, because then, you're faced to confront your own, the consequences of your own actions. But by the same token, there are, like you said, a lot of people out there who, if they get your real name, doxing is a thing. And and so like, it's like, on the one hand, I do very much support the idea of making real world consequences for your online actions, but there's also too many people that know how to take even a little bit of personal information and figure out exactly where you are, who you are, and what you do, and can make your life miserable or cost you all kinds of money or even cause you physical, like...
Well, a lot of people do there is the internet fingerprint. Whenever you do something on the internet, there is. I think one of the problems is when we talk about the internet not being the real world, it is the real world, and there are real world consequences for what you do, but because you're anonymous, you may not experience all the consequences. But one thing I can tell you is, when you make fun of somebody, when you cause them these problems, swatting, whatever, those people have mental effects of it. You get depression, things like that. And then you end up with people saying, oh, well, it's the video game's fault. No, it's the fact that these people have mental needs. They have things that are going wrong with them, and that people on the internet encourage that or reinforce it by saying negative things.
There are numerous, like, I wish that it was only like a one-off thing, but there are numerous examples that you can very easily find of people who have literally committed suicide because of online bullying and things that have been said to them. Sometimes even literally, like, this was rare, but there have been times it's literally been like on a YouTube video or Facebook Live, people have literally killed themselves on the internet because of things that were said to them on the internet. Like, there are serious ramifications to these things.
So, there was, I'm trying to remember exactly what you said. Something about you're not something about what you do online, you don't see the consequences in real
You don't
world.
necessarily experience those.
You don't
consequences.
experience them.
But
The other
here's-
person does.
But here's the interesting twist here. Twitch, for their whatever partners or associates or whatever, they have enacted a rule in which your offline behavior can dictate your eligibility for that partnership program. So if you're doing douchebaggery and being a racist, bigot, whatever, offline, and people could trace that directly back to you for your Twitch channel, your privileges get revoked. Which I'm totally cool for.
That's all for that.
Yeah. Personally, and this might just be me, but I feel like, oh no, I don't want to go there. I'm gonna
Don't go there.
Careful,
I'm gonna go there.
careful,
I'm gonna go there.
careful.
I feel like there's too many situations now that you have to say the exact right thing when you're in public, and then you gain this more rebellious streak about you when you're online, where you can have that anonymous feel. So you go way to the other extreme, and then of course you don't have any type of like ramifications for doing that, and so you basically have like a split personality without having a split personality, or maybe you do have a split personality. You no longer know who the hell you don't know who the hell you are, let alone anybody know what is it the person I'm talking to face to face, or is it the person who is a total asshat online. Florida Williams says Twitch recently tightened down their TOS like last week to also help combat bullying streams and streamers who allow toxic communities to flourish on Twitch. I wonder if that's going to actually hurt KaceyTron, because
I don't know.
She technically is kind of nurturing a toxic community, but
She's
it's
doing it on purpose
Right,
in order
exactly.
to make them even. Basically, she's doing it to piss them off even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Which isn't good, because you don't want to piss these people off on purpose.
Here's the other thing. When you're playing an online game, okay, especially if you're playing in casual mode, if you're not playing in competitive mode, and someone screws up in the game, do not start beating the shit out of them through voice or typing or any of that stuff. You're playing casual, okay? If you want to be superhuman, you know everything, then go play freaking competitive. If you can't cut it there, sorry, but you don't get to say shit. If you've ever watched one of my streams where I'm playing a game, if someone does something that I think, oh my god, so stupid, I will voice it on the stream. I'm not going to voice it to that individual. Now, of course, if that individual is watching my stream, it would be a little weird because it's like 21 seconds off. But I don't know, weird things have happened. But the thing is, I am not going to try to belittle anybody for just trying something out. And I always go back to this one example, and that is in the game of Smite, there is something called Assault. It is a one-lane game. You are randomly given one of the characters. Randomly. So sometimes you're playing a character you've never played because it was randomly assigned to you. If you are that big of a dickhead to go, you have no idea how to play that character, you should kill yourself and die. It's randomly assigned. No shit, Sherlock. I've never played this character before. It was given to me. So go somewhere else.
If you can't tell, we feel pretty strongly about
He
this.
does. He
I
feels
do.
very strongly.
No, I do too. Like, I mean, that's part of why I never got. I mean, there's two reasons why I never got into online video gaming.
Mhm.
One is being a homeschooled only child that didn't really, that just kind of. No, but secondly, the few times I did try to play online, some of my early experiences were Halo and Halo 2. And anyone who knows Halo and Halo 2 back in that period of time knows that
It's a bunch of 12-year-olds screaming and yelling at you.
yes. So basically, I get in there just to have fun because I'm just trying to play and have a good time. And of course, I'm not on there 7 hours every day. So of course, I'm not as good as the other people on there, and they're taking me out all the time. And of course, teammates yelling at me for getting killed. The people on the other team taunting me for not being good enough and not killing them, or being obvious enough to get killed. And it's like, okay, what do you expect from me? Okay, seriously.
Zelius said he stopped playing Smite, and to be honest with you, I've stopped playing Smite simply because the toxicity of there's no one in this world who has a perfect day or perfect things happen to them every single time they try to do something. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna have an off day, and so I was actually a pretty good low-level competitive Smite player. I could hold my own. However, there's a couple times where I had an off game, and then I would just get lit up. It's like, I don't need to do this. So that's why I've switched over to play Paladins. I'm sure that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about how I play and whatnot. However, if you play with the controller, the chat log doesn't open up. So I never get to see any of that dumbass shit. So I don't know if there's toxicity or not because I'm just playing.
I became a teacher because I'd rather have a 12-year-old make fun of me to my face than online.
Yeah,
and at least when you have a face to it, they've got to hold their own there.
Yeah.
And they're less likely to say something really rude and disrespectful.
Yeah, like to me, when you're playing an online game and you hear on the voice chat, you can tell it's a little kid's voice, and you can tell that they're getting off on using all the curse words they never get to use when their parents are around, and it's like, look. I'm sitting here in this college or graduated from college, successful person. I'm just trying to have fun in a game, and you're this dumb little kid sitting at home in your parents' basement playing a video game and getting off on using the swear words your parents don't let you use to yell at other people. Like, I think I'm the winner in this situation. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't. And it's like the natural tendency is to want to defend yourself in that situation. But it's like, why should I have to? Like, I don't have to. Just shut up.
And
Right,
it's
but
not
the
always
problem is-
12-year-olds.
Right, but
Yeah.
the problem is that when you get to the point of I need to defend myself, that's exactly what they're looking for.
Exactly.
Because that gives more ammunition.
Yeah,
And to be honest with you,
that's why I stopped.
a lot of the reason why I've been very, very hesitant about playing multiplayer games simply is because of the chance of super duper levels of toxicity. So if you've checked out all the games I've reviewed or checked a lot of the games I've played, they've basically been single player simply because when I play a game, it's my form of escapism. I need to basically lose myself from this reality and put myself into something else just for a little bit. And I don't need morons and assholes and douchebags and racists and bigots and all that stuff screaming and yelling at me and basically screwing up the experience for me. This is why especially I don't play MMOs, because in MMOs, almost every single MMO, you have to party with people to actually advance the game. I've had a very bad run of luck when it comes to having to party up with people, because once again, I'll be just. This is the thing that pisses me off the most. When I'm a newbie in a game, I just started. I don't know how to be masterful of the game. I'm gonna make mistakes because I just started playing. Do not try to destroy me for making a small mistake because I didn't know what the keys are, or maybe I was a little bit slow, or maybe I didn't have the right weapon equipped. But to berate someone so fast and so hard for the first hour of gameplay, fuck it, I'm done. I'm not playing the game anymore. Florian says League gives you a lot more options now to help deal with and combat toxicity that it did back in the day. That's true. They actually, Riot Games actually has a learning algorithm that's trying to help curtail some of the toxicity. Of course, you've got the player report tool, but they've also got a bot that's running in the background that's actually keeping track of the comments that are made in the message window, to see if individuals are being toxic. Are they utilizing hot words in succession that would point to them being bullies or whatever? That gets flagged. Then an actual human being looks at it to see if the connotation is there, and if so, ban hammer, which I'm totally for.
Yep.
Ban all those assholes.
You know, I just like, I keep going back to the philosophy of the great philosophers Bill and Ted: be excellent to one another.
Is it that hard? Is it really that hard?
Like, come on.
Yes, Florida Whammy. There are automatic ban words within the League client now. Yeah.
As well, there should be.
Yeah.
I believe.
Probably most of the like racist.
Yeah.
Racist.
I am not.
epithets
I am
and stuff.
not. I will. Y'all can figure it out. You probably just Google words that are banned in League of Legends, and you'll find it.
I'm sure.
Those words are not part of my vocabulary, so
Nope.
I'm not even going to attempt to try to figure out what they are. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, let's spin you back real quick, and let's just say it one more time, because this awesomeness is starting tomorrow, and that, of course, is AndoCon, which is happening at the Peachtree Corners Marriott.
Peachtree Corners Marriott.
And of course, it starts tomorrow. The opening ceremony is at 4 o'clock, and there's going to be awesomeness from then through Sunday, right?
That is correct. And as a note, even though the opening ceremony is at 4, we do
Florida Whammy. What the hell did you do?
We do have the we do have I got distracted there. The registration table opens at 2 o'clock. So basically, from 2 o'clock onward, you can come and get your badge. And I meant to bring this up because I know people who are watching who have not already registered may be curious about this. Because the pre-registration online window has closed. The only, and it's tomorrow anyway. So, but if you're going to come up and buy at the door, we've got 3 price points. If you're coming and you're going to go for the whole weekend, that's $55. If you're a single day pass, it's $25, and if you're going to come for 2 days, that is $40. So,
And that's cheap. That's actually a great deal.
yes, you know that, Zealies. You already sent me an email about that.
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have the ability to be in the Atlanta area or Peachtree Corners area, because that's basically just north of Atlanta, this weekend, go to AndoCon. If you need the information, go to AndoCon.org. You find all the information there.
Yep.
or just try to track me down because I'll be over there.
Or Facebook's also where a lot of the stuff is. We've been doing a lot of more social posting on that. So it's facebook.com/AndoCon. Surprise!
Ta-da! All right, so self-promo real quick for me. Ladies and gentlemen, there's this amazing thing called Patreon. Patreon is basically a system that allows you, the viewers, the audience, the amazing fans out there, to help give back to Altered Confusion. If you like what we do, you can make a donation to us by going to patreon.com/AlteredConfusion. Every single bit of money goes towards Altered Confusion. It does not go to myself. It does not go to Zealies. It does not go to Zealies' cat, which I have to add.
Does not go to me either.
But basically, the money goes towards helping us attend conventions. There are several conventions that we can get a free fan table. However, we have to pay for electricity or internet. Of course, if it's out of state, we need the ability to
hotel rooms, gas.
No, I won't. I'm not going to worry about gas. Just the hotel room.
Not gas.
Yeah, just the hotel room and the badge if required, or the hotel room and the electricity. I'm not going to. There's no food. There's no gas. Basically, I just if I can get there. I love going to conventions. I love talking to individuals. It is like my. It's basically my favorite thing to do. We were unable to go to Cayuga this year because we just couldn't raise the funds. We've been to Con Carolinas. We can't do Con Carolinas simply because, well, funds, and also it's the week after MomoCon.
Oh, that was hard.
And
2 years ago.
Oh god,
that was hard.
That was
That was
too
2
much.
years ago, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was hard.
Yeah, we got our asses whooped. And then, of course, we go into Big Fan of Greenville. Big Fan of Greenville is not until November, so we're trying to basically get enough funds to do that. But, of course, we'd like to add more conventions. We just don't have the capacity, unless it's in Atlanta. MomoCon.
AndoCon.
DragonCon, probably not. I've gone down the wrong hallway a couple too many times. And also, it's funny, when you try to get a fan table at DragonCon, they don't tell you anything until 2 days prior. And by that point, I've allowed Jesse and Zelius or anyone else who wants to help me. I'm like, I don't know if we're getting a fan table, so y'all do what you want to do. And then as soon as they're gone, I get, hey, by the way, here's your fan table. And so I get to sit there all the time.
I met the director of volunteering for DragonCon this weekend. Yeah.
Nice. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have the ability to donate any money, it could be as low as $1. It is a monthly donation to Altered Confusion to help us with the equipment, the upkeep, and all that stuff. And I would love to be able to get a new camcorder. We've had the same red camcorder for 8.5 years now. The battery no longer works. It has to stay completely plugged in. To buy a new battery costs as much as the camcorder. So if you come to AndoCon, you will see me with my amazing red camcorder.
It's going to stay tethered to a power outlet.
Yeah. We didn't make a video for you where you're looking sad with like the ASPCA commercial.
It needs to be like slow motion in black and white. And
we'll get Sarah McLachlan
to
do the thing. We'll run it.
But ladies and gentlemen, if you don't feel comfortable about doing a monthly donation, you want to do the financial route, you of course could do a one-time donation by clicking on Donate Now. It's a PayPal thing that goes straight to Altered Confusion. Or if you don't want to do a financial thing, the best thing that you could do for Altered Confusion is when you see something, a video, a post, a picture, whatever, that you see that you think is awesome. We love the fact that you're loving it and you're liking it, but retweet, share, show it to your friends, whatever, because what Altered Confusion is we want the ability to talk to the audience. We want to know what the pulse is of the audience. This Thursday night show is all about talking about the topics that are important to you. I know that I need to kind of expand where the list of topics is. Currently, it's only on our Discord channel. I tried to figure it out on Facebook, but apparently I'm like Facebook illiterate when it comes to trying to create polls.
As most people are.
I can help you out there if you need.
Because I don't know. Anyway, so but this is the most important thing for me. It's a Thursday night hangout. I love to have a conversation. I love the fact that we had plenty of conversation, good points, some weird stuff, but that's what makes this show interesting and unique. So if at the very least, if you could just share, retweet, repost, whatever, that would be amazing. Now, let me do one more thing, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to go to our website, it's www.AlteredConfusion.com. Our Twitch channel, if you're not watching this live, is twitch.tv/AlteredConfusion. Our YouTube channel is AlteredConfusionLLC. The Facebook page is Altered Confusion, and Twitter is AlteredConfusio. That's Altered Confusion without the N, because the N would break the internet. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to thank the one and only Ando for coming on the show and giving us a little peek behind the curtain about what AndoCon is and what's going to go down and some of the big names that will be there. I seriously will be stalking some of those developers and seeing if I can get 10, 15 minutes of camera time with them.
I tell you, I do the what I call the AndoCon abuse of power, where I go around and like, hey, here, guest, come here, let me take a picture with you.
You're not busy. What? 6-hour session? Come here.
Picture.
Anyways, so once again, thank you, Ando, for coming. Jesse, once
Thank
again,
you.
it's awesome to have you on the panel. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank everyone for tuning into the Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, Jesse, and Ando, it's been a pleasure giving you everything coming out of our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. I will be back next Thursday. I don't know. I will be back next week because, excitingly enough, the creator behind Nerdburger Games, Craig Campbell, will be on the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Or tomorrow.
If you're going to AndoCon.